Look, I get it. You're tired of being the good guy. The one she texts at midnight when her heart's broken by some other dude. The shoulder she cries on while secretly wishing you'd man up and take charge. And the worst part? You know you're more than just a friend. But every time you try to make a move, freeze. She laughs it off, changes the subject, or worse, she gives you that pity smile. Oh, you're like a brother to me. Ouch. Here's the hard truth, brother. If you keep doing what you've always done, you'll stay exactly where you are, stuck in the friend zone, watching from the sidelines while she falls for guys who don't even deserve her. But today, that ends, because I'm about to show you the exact psychological shifts that'll make her see you differently. Not tomorrow, not someday, right? Now, see, most guys think the friend zone is a death sentence. They whine about it, blame her, give up. But the men who escape? They understand something ancient, something the Stoics mastered 2,000 years ago. Attraction isn't about begging for attention, it's about wielding invisible power. And once you learn these laws, her emotions will follow whether she likes it or not. I've coached men who were just friends for years until they applied these steps. Then, she started touching his arm accidentally, laughing a little too hard at his jokes, texting him first. And within weeks, she was the one confessing feelings. No games, no manipulation, just raw, unstoppable psychology. So I hope you're ready to stop being her therapist and start being the man she craves. Let's get real for a second. You think you're being a good guy by always being there for her, right? Listening to her drama for hours, remembering her favorite coffee order, jumping like a trained puppy every time she texts. And what's your reward? Watching her get railed by some guy who forgot her birthday. Brutal? Yeah, but necessary. Because until you see the ugly truth, nothing changes. Here's the first law of the friend zone. The nicer you are, the less she wants you. Sounds backwards, right? But think about it. When was the last time a woman got wet over a doormat? Exactly. She's not evil. She's human. And humans crave what challenges them. Your niceness isn't virtue. It's surrender. And no woman fantasizes about surrendering to a man who's already on his knees. Take Daniel. 3 years of being her best friend. He knew her cat's name, her ex's middle name, even her weird allergy to kiwi fruit. Meanwhile, Chad, who ghosted her twice, smashing. Why? Because Chad didn't give a hey. And that indifference, it burned her brain like a drug. Daniel made her feel safe. Chad made her feel alive. And biology doesn't care about fairness. The Stoics knew this 2,000 years ago. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Right now your mind is poisoned by a lie that if you just care enough, she'll see your worth. Wake up. Attraction doesn't give participation trophies. Women aren't vending machines where you insert nice coins and sex falls out. She's not broken. Your strategy is. But here's the good news. Daniel escaped, and so can you. Not by pretending to be an asshole, but by mastering the art of being a man who's kind but never weak, who listens but doesn't beg, who's there but never at her beck and call. That's the shift, and it starts today. All right, enough diagnosing the disease. Let's talk cure. Step 1, rewire how she sees you. Because right now, you're filed in her brain under safe, harmless, like a Labrador. And no one sleeps with a Labrador. So we need to burn that label and replace it with something far more dangerous, potential. Here's how it works, the association trigger. Every interaction you've had with her so far has been friend-coded. The way you talk, the jokes you make, even your damn body language screams, "I'm not a threat." That changes today. Not by being aggressive, but by introducing one simple shift. Stop acting like her therapist and start acting like a man who has options. Example, next time she dumps her emotional baggage on you at 1 a.m., don't play counselor. Cut her off with a smirk. Damn, save some drama for your diary. Then change the subject to something fun. That concert you're going to, without her, that girl at the gym who smiled at you, let her wonder. You're not her emotional tampon anymore. You're a prize she has to qualify for. This isn't manipulation, it's recalibration. Which brings us to step 2, emotional spikes. Women don't fall in love through logic. They fall through emotional roller coasters. Your job? Be the guy who makes her heart race unpredictably. Not by being an erratic clown, but by mastering push-pull. 1 minute, you're the guy who whispers, "That dress is dangerous," as you brush her lower back. The next, you're too busy to reply for 3 hours because you're at a boxing class. Push. My client Mike used this exact text after weeks of friendzone torture. "We should grab drinks. But fair warning, I'm banning all ex-boyfriend talk. You're too smart to waste time on that crap." Boom. Suddenly she's not texting him about her problems, she's texting him in lipstick asking where they're going. Because he stopped feeding her boredom and started feeding her adrenaline. This is where most men fail. They think attraction is about consistency. Wrong. Consistency is for payroll. Attraction is about tension. The Stoics called it amor fati, the love of fate. You're not desperate for her outcome. You're the storm she chooses to chase. And once she starts chasing, that's when the real game begins. Now we get to the knife's edge. Step 3. Making her fear losing you. Because here's the ugly little secret. Women don't want what's always available. They want what might slip through their fingers. The Stoics had a term for this, premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of loss. And you're going to use it to your advantage. Right now, she thinks you'll always be there. That's why she treats you like a backup plan. So we introduce scarcity. Not by lying about your life, but by actually living one. Because why shouldn't you? Post that photo from the salsa class where women are grabbing your hands. Casually mention your weekend plans with a friend. Let her wonder if it's a date. When she texts, take 3 hours to reply once in a while. Not to play games, but because you're busy building a life she wants to be part of. My client Alex did this perfectly. When his crush joked, "Who's gonna put up with you?" he didn't simp. He shrugged, "Funny, my problem's usually too many options, not enough." 2 weeks later, she accidentally showed up at his gym. That's the scarcity principle in action. Not begging, not convincing, just existing as a man who doesn't need her, which ironically makes her need him. Which brings us to the final step, the bold move. Every friendship has a make or break moment. Miss it, and you're forever her buddy. Take it, and the dynamic shifts forever. Here's how it works. You wait for a high-energy moment. Maybe she's laughing at your joke or just touched your arm playfully. That's your signal. You lock eyes, drop the smile for half a second, and touch her back the way a lover would. Slow, deliberate pressure under her shoulder blade. No words, just heat. The Stoics called this the decisive moment. No overthinking, no apology, just action. If she pulls away, you laugh it off like it's nothing, because to you it is. But if she leans in, that's when you whisper something reckless like, "Yeah, we shouldn't do this," while doing it anyway. I believe some of you remember that movie with this scene, because attraction isn't negotiated, it's claimed. This is where boys lose and men win. Not by waiting for permission, but by reading the moment and leading. Just like Epictetus said, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. So, who are you going to be? Now let me show you how this works in the real world. Meet David, a guy who spent 2 years deep in the friend zone. Birthday gifts, late night calls, even helped her move apartments. Sound familiar? Then he tried something radical. Instead of telling her how he felt, he showed her through action. At a party, when she reached for his drink, he pulled it back with a smirk. "Nah, you don't get to steal from me anymore." Then handed it to her with a slow, deliberate brush of fingers. No words, just tension. That night, she texted him, "Why does it feel different around you lately?" 6 weeks later, she was his girlfriend. The key? That one moment of unapologetic masculinity flipped the script. Not by confessing feelings like a Shakespearean loser, but by making her body react before her brain could rationalize it. That's the power of what you've learned today. So here's your mission, soldier. For the next 7 days, I dare you to use just one of these steps. The smirk when she complains about her ex, the accidental touch that lingers a second too long. Then come back here, drop Friendzone in the comments, and tell me what happened. Best stories get featured in my next video, and trust me, you'll want to see what happens when men actually apply this stuff. And if you're ready for the ultimate shift, my next video will change everything. You'll learn how to become the kind of man women chase without you lifting a finger. The kind who doesn't beg for attention, but commands it. Smash that notification bell now, because this train's leaving the station, and you've got two choices. Stand on the platform watching life pass you by. Or get on board and become the man you were meant to be.